Hello and welcome to this video series on video marketing. Now in this video, which is covered under the and much more category at the bottom, we're going to show you how you can add these videos to your web pages or blogs. And there's a lot of different ways that this can take place, but we're going to be concentrating on the HTML factor versus showing you this plugin or that plugin, because that can be, well, that can be a little pricey depending upon which plugin you get, if it's going to cost you money or if it's a free one. So we're just going to show you the bare bones, easy way to do it by using HTML code, because that will work in most cases. So let's go ahead and jump right on into this little tutorial. Now the first way we're going to talk about embedding your video files into your web page is using the Camtasia, or at least ways acquiring the files from having rendered your video through Camtasia. That would be the case here. These are the files I'm referring to. As a quick introduction here, we got the XML, which is basically just garbage filler. We're not going to be using that. But you've got the SWF, the HTML, or in this case HTM, and the SWF object.js file. These three files are the ones you're going to be using. Now then, if you were to have uploaded this, oh yeah, and did I mention also we're going to be using the Amazon S3? That's where you store all your video files, basically any files, but that's for a different video. If you're not familiar with Amazon S3, then you probably will not be too interested in this particular phase of this video. But if you aren't, you should be. And if you are, well, then you know how good that is. But anyway, you've already uploaded this to the Amazon S3 account. And if you are not overly familiar with Amazon S3, then let me just give you a quick intro. This is basically your Amazon S3 account that's already set up. You've already got the videos uploaded, and this is the video in question right here. And to activate this, you would right click on your video, go to Edit ACL, then you've got some red X's that need to be green check marks, and you simply left click on those red X's. They then turn into green check marks, and all is well with the world. Then you click on Save, and then you come back here, then you left click on Copy URL to Clipboard, and that takes the URL to this actual video here. Now of course it has to end in SWF or FLV in this case, but in this case it's going to be ending in SWF. So with that said, we'll go ahead and close this guy out. Come on back here, and I'm going to go ahead and open up a text editor here. And all I need to do here, the only reason I'm opening this up is so that I can paste that URL that I just copied. So we'll minimize that for now. Now what we need is we need some stuff out of here. Oh, wait a minute, let me back up. This guy here, okay, now we've already tackled this. It's uploaded to S3. This guy here, the SWF object.js, needs to be uploaded to the root folder of where your web page is located at. So if where your web page is located at, if it's in a subdirectory or a subdomain of the root, well, then we'll tackle that here in just a second. But this should be uploaded to your root directory. Now then, if you're going to be adding multiple videos to multiple subdirectories of that one root, no biggie. All you got to do is upload this one to that root directory, and you don't have to worry about the SWF object.js file in any of the other videos, because so long as this one is in your root directory, all you have to do is make sure you've got the path properly outlined on this. I'll just kind of follow along with me here, because now that takes care of this guy. Upload it to the root directory. If you don't understand why, don't sweat it yet, just do it. Then after that's done, we open up this guy here, and let's go with Notepad. Open it up with Notepad will work. Maybe we'll squeeze you on down here so we can see everything. Now, of course, you can do this also with, Dreamweaver, front page, what have you, whatever. But what we need out of here, we don't need the whole thing. What we need out of here, though, is this. Okay, the opening script tag all the way to the closing script tag. And right here, okay, we're going to copy this and put this in the head tag above the closing head tag of our web page. But we want to make sure that the path here is correct. Okay, so long as, let's say you're root directory is, and this is your root directory, yourdomain.com, and that's where this is located at. Okay. Now you just make sure that this is in every one of those, that this path is correct on every one of these that you put in every head tag of all the pages in the subdomains of your root directory. They're going to have these videos on, okay, via the S3. So just make sure you got that right. So now that we've got this in the head tag, let's go do that now. Copy, and let me go ahead and finish explaining this, then we'll actually get down to creating our web page here. Now then down here, if we scroll down a little bit further, in the body tag, it's everything above the head tag we've got it taken care of now. Now in the body tag, all we need is from the div ID equals media from here down to the closing script tag, which is right here. So I just put my cursor here, the blinky cursor at the beginning, hold my shift key down, and come down here and click on that, and it highlights everything I need. Okay, now with this highlighted, let me also show you that this is the path right now to the video file. That's an incorrect path. But we're just going to leave that alone for the time being. Now that we've kind of gone over what of the HTML file or HTML file we need, let's go ahead and open up our actual web page and insert this information that we've just kind of touched on now. So now the first one I'm going to go into here, let me minimize all these guys here. Here's a few ways that we're going to be talking about doing this. Now this first one, I'm going to open that up with Notepad. Squeeze this on down in here so we can kind of see what's going on. Sorry about this, prior proper planning and all that stuff. Okay, now this one here, how to embed video using Amazon 3. This is our demo 1, and this basically, that's just the title here. Now we've got the head tag. Now we got to put something in the head tag, and then we got to put something in the body tag. Okay, so in the head tag, we got to put that SWF with the proper path and all that stuff. Okay, I went ahead and opened up my FTP client, and the folder that we're in now, the TESTR, that's the subdirectory of the root, which is the pmnu.com. Now then, this is where the web page is going to be located as soon as we get it all finished. We're going to upload it. But the root directory is where we need to have the SWF file. So that's this guy right here. So we're just going to drag and drop him on over here. It's real dinky, so it's finished up real quick. Now the path to this, just show you where that is real quick here, right here. The path to that will be pmnu.com/swfobject.js. Okay, so instead of the your domain as I put in the example, let's go ahead and open that up now. This page open here. This is the demo, and right here above the closing head tag is where we need to put in that. /SWFOB. Actually, that's not altogether correct, but that's the path anyway. So let's get the right coding in there. Here we are, and we need from the opening script tag to the and including the closing script tag. We'll just copy that out of there and put that in here. Bear with me. Okay, now we're going to cut this out of here. And clean that up a tad. And then right in here, replace this bogus URL, our path, with the correct one. So this is the URL or the path to the SWF object.js. Now, of course, if everything were in the same folder, then, I mean, if everything were in the root directory, wouldn't need any of this. All we would need is the swf object.js. But I like to, I like to get in the habit of just putting the entire full path, the entire URL in all of these, just so, that's just the habit that I get in. Okay, so we got this done. Now we need to get in the body here, which is here. Let me just kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Put this up in our browser. Let me go ahead and save this as we are going along here. And minimize that. Let me just double click that. And here we are. Okay, so the one that says real estate, this is the one we're going to be using for the S3 account. And right here in this is the body of the web page. Yeah, I didn't have a footer image, so, but anyway, you get the idea. Right here, I'm going to replace this text with the video location. So, I mean, all the formatting's there as far as it being centered and whatnot, so now you know. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and minimize this and reopen this. And what we need to do now is right here, just ready to put that code from here. Let's go on down here, the div opening tag here. Hold my shift key down, come on down here to the closing script tag. We'll just copy this out of here, put it in place of this. Now then, we need to replace this with the actual URL to the video itself, which is here. After I right-clicked on while I was in the S3 account, copied that to the clipboard. That's what I got. So now I just paste that in here, and I believe that's it. Let me look here. I thought there was maybe one other place that needed to go as well. But I don't believe so. That's it. Okay, so let's save this. Control S. And let's open this up in our browser. Double click. And this is the original, and this is with the embedded video from S3. And that's how that's done. Pretty simple. Now let's move on to another one, which is just about as easy. We've got this one taken care of. And remember, if you got the SWF object in your root directory, you can throw videos in all of your subdirectories from that domain name and use that same SWF object that's in your root directory, as long as you got the proper path throughout. That's all you need. So let's get on down to the next one here. And that would be this guy. Double click and open up this one. This is dogs. Now then, on this one, as it says up here in the title, we're going to use the embed code that you would get from the YouTube as an example, because the same embed code style you can get most all cases from all of the other video hosting sites, whether it's Reaver, whatever, Google Vid, Yahoo Vid, and so on. So let's go ahead and head over to YouTube. And of course, some of the all-time favorites of mine are the Abbott and Costellos. And the best of the best, I think, is the Who's On First. But that's enough of that. What we need to do is simply get the embed code. And if you ever get a chance to, got some spare time to play, you ought to check this out. And I need to pause this real quick, otherwise I'm going to spend the rest of this video watching that video. Now, whenever you get your YouTube video or wherever, go to More Info. This is the URL, the direct URL, and then the embed code right here that starts with object. That's the one we're looking for. You can usually just left-click on that or right-click and then select all, then right-click and copy. Now we've got the code here in our clipboard. Minimize that, and let's reopen this guy here. That's the number 2. Okay, this is number 1, so we're done with that one. Let's get rid of that one. Right click, open with Notepad. And remember, you can use any of the other ones, the front page, the Dreamweaver, any text editor will work just like Notepad. Now then, we got the embed code here, and I'm simply going to replace the body section here. That's this right here. I'm just going to replace that with the embed code that I just copied from YouTube. And that's right, here we go. Okay, and I got it in my clipboard still, just copy, paste. Now we're going to save that. And let's just minimize that, close that. And, okay, that's how it looks now. Double click, open it up. And there we have it. That's easy. Okay, so if you've got a table set up, which basically we did, and the formatting for the centering of the text said this is where the body goes, just replace the text with the embed code you copied from YouTube, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. Now, this next one is pretty darn easy as well. Now, let's say you've got a URL, let's say from, you don't use S3 yet, because you really should, it's darn cheap, but this isn't a sales pitch for S3, but let's say you've got videos uploaded to your server. This one here, this is an FLV file, and this is the one we're going to use for the next example. So this path will be, let me open up another text editor here, HTTP, and there. This is the URL to this one. Got that in my clipboard. Now then, this next tool, if you will, is pretty simple, and it is located at, it's an online deal, it's located at freevideocoding.com. Very simple. If you've got a WMV, basically just whatever format you've got your file uploaded to your server as, in this case it's FLV. I mean, I could use the same one from the S3 account that's entered with SWF. I got to use the same thing in this example by using just that one. But anyway, this was an FLV file, so we click on that, enter the location here. I'm just going to highlight that and paste over that, and embed the player. Yeah, it looks cool. We'll just do that. That's basically what we just did with the embed code from YouTube. That was what we are calling embedding. Or we could link to a player, link to pop-up, link to embedded player from image. You know, so there's a little bit of flexibility here. You can just kind of see here if you want the image file for the embedded player. So if you got your own player, again, there's a lot of options you can play with here. Now, what we want is, well, this would be fine. We'll just leave it at those dimensions. But these are customizable. Give you a little bit of info here. And playback quality high, sure, why not? Enable autoplay. I frankly do not. Again, it depends on what you're using it for. If you're going to be promoting an affiliate product, then I would say yeah. As soon as your page opens up, then it would be playing. Because you're going to have the stop buttons on there, so they can, you know, the viewers can always stop it at their leisure, but this way they won't have to do anything to get it to play. You're going to start talking and the video is going to start playing. The drawback to this being on autoplay is if this is hosted on your domain or on your hosting account rather than Amazon, for example, in either case with autoplay, it will start using your bandwidth as soon as the page loads. So even if it's a 100 meg video, for example, your bandwidth is going to be sucked dry while this is loading. And if you've got this on several different pages or you're promoting it and there's a lot of usage, your bandwidth is going to be drained dramatically. Again, that's another reason why S3 comes in handy, because that does not affect your website. But again, that's S3, and I'm not trying to sell you on S3 right now. That's for a different video. So anyway, for that example, we're going to go with yes anyway. Support this link free, and we'll go with no, sorry. And then make HTML. Right down here is your code. And what I would do, I mean, yeah, normally you could just, you know, click everything here, which would be the Control V that they're talking about. I'm sorry, the Control C Actually, you can do Control A, get my ducks right. Okay, so that's not going to work. That'll do everything. But if you highlight this and then Control C, that's the copy. That'll put it in your clipboard, and then get to the web page and then Control V. The drawback to that is that you are, oh no, that's commented out. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll just highlight everything like it says, and then Control C like it says, and then head on back over to our web page. And no, we don't want this one. This is the one we already did. Close that out. Close that out. Close that out. Close that out. You want this one here. The third one. Open with Notepad. And we're going to replace the same as the other two. This is the body of the web page. Going to replace that with what we just copied from the here. Right click and paste. Then we're going to Control S to save. This is the title here of this one. Let's minimize this one, minimize that one, and double click to open it in our browser. And there we have it. That's the FLV that we just copied. That's pretty much it. Now, of course, you can do the same thing with SWF, you know, however you wanted to set that up. However you wanted to set that up using freevideocoding.com. And that's going to bring us to the end of this. And there's a few other ways in which you can embed video into your web pages. And again, most all of this holds true for blogs that you have set up to accept full HTML coding without having to go out and purchase other add-on plugins and widgets and gizmos to add video code to your site. It's pretty simple. Just follow a few simple steps and all will work well for you, I hope. Well, I hope that you've learned something from this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you, again, are not familiar with S3, Amazon S3, get familiar. It's going to save you a boatload of cash down the line. Thank you much for watching.